So today, we're diving into a really fascinating book by Frank Katembo called Know Yourself and Become Wealthy. And it's built on this incredibly powerful idea that we can literally reshape our reality by rewriting the code that's running inside of us. And it turns out that whole process is really just a journey back to who we've always been. But first, let me just ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just living out a script? One that you didn't even write? Like you're following these paths that don't really feel like you? Almost as if you're being run by some invisible program? Well, if that sounds familiar, what we're about to get into might just be the total system reboot you've been looking for.
All right, so here's the game plan. First up, we're going to uncover your life's hidden operating system. Then we'll talk about the master key to changing it all, which is self-knowledge. After that, we'll get into how to fire up your own creative engine, and finally, we'll walk through the actual practical steps to make all this stuff real in your life.
So what is the core problem we're dealing with here? Well, it's this idea that so many of us are running on a kind of subconscious operating system. It's this unseen code that's dictating our thoughts, our behaviors, and, you guessed it, our reality. It's kind of like having a computer virus you never even knew was installed. And a lot of the time, this unseen code takes the form of what the book calls a poverty program. Now, what is that? It's basically a set of limiting beliefs, feelings of not being good enough or that there's never enough to go around. And this stuff gets imprinted on our subconscious when we're kids, especially around ages 3, 6, and 9, when our brains are just like little sponges soaking everything up.
And honestly, this contrast you see here, this is the whole game. On one side, you've got that poverty program, which just keeps us trapped in a loop of scarcity, fear, and struggle. But on the other side is the abundance mindset, which is all about recognizing our own potential, trusting the process, and tapping into a sense of flow. And the most important part, we absolutely have the power to switch from one to the other.
Okay, so how do we actually break free from that old, faulty code? Well, the answer lies in what the book calls the power of self-knowledge. The big idea here is that understanding who we truly are deep down is the master key to overriding all that bad programming.
But self-knowledge isn't just one thing, and I love how the book breaks this down. It's really a three-step path. See, we start with knowing. That's just gathering facts and information. Then we move up to understanding. That's where we start to see the patterns and connect the dots. But the real goal, the end game, is wisdom. And wisdom is actually using that understanding to change our lives. It's the difference between just reading a recipe and actually cooking an amazing meal.
So what is it that we need to understand about ourselves? It comes down to this central idea, our divine essence. This is about completely flipping the script. We aren't just little human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. No. We are powerful spiritual beings having a temporary human one. And at our core, every single one of us is a spark of the Creator, carrying that same unlimited power to create and manifest.
And that right there leads us to the biggest roadblock we face. It's what the book calls the only true sin, and it's not what you think. It's simply this belief, this perception that we are somehow less than or separate from the divine. Our greatest obstacle is just not believing in our own creative power.
All right, this brings us to the really fun part, the mechanics of it all. How do we harness this creative engine? If we have this divine essence inside us, how do we actually use it? Well, it all starts with a simple but totally world-changing principle. Our thoughts literally build our reality.
And the connection here is not random, it is direct. It's cause and effect. Your inner world of thoughts and beliefs isn't just reflecting what's happening outside, it's creating it. As within, so without. Your thoughts, your words, that's the primary action. The physical world you see around you, that's the secondary effect.
I mean, just think about this quote for a second. It's so powerful. Our words, what we say out loud, they're not just empty sounds. Every word we speak carries a creative vibration. It's the foundational energy, the very embryo that starts to shape physical form. We are literally speaking our world into existence, moment by moment.
You can think of it just like planting seeds in a garden. It's that simple. If all your thoughts and words are corn, meaning they're focused on abundance, success, and positivity, then guess what? You're going to harvest corn. It's a natural law. You just can't plant seeds of scarcity and doubt and then get upset when you have a harvest of lack. What you put in is what you get out, period.
So, what about mistakes? What about when things go wrong? The book has this brilliant way of reframing it. Think about milk. When it sours, that seems like a mistake, right? But it doesn't become useless. It turns into yogurt, which is actually more valuable.
And then, when yogurt goes bad, what happens? It becomes cheese, which is even more valuable. Our so-called failures aren't endings. They're just transformation processes that can lead to something way, way better. Okay, so we've got the theory down. We understand the principles. Now for the most exciting part, putting all of this knowledge into practice. This is where the book gives us a concrete, actionable plan for making real, lasting change. And that plan is framed as a personal challenge, a 90-day experiment. The whole idea is to fully commit to living these principles for 3 months straight and prove to yourself that you can transform your reality. This isn't about just passively reading a book. It's about getting in the driver's seat and experiencing the change firsthand. So what does this 90-day challenge actually look like? Well, it's a whole set of daily practices. Things like actively looking for things to be grateful for, making giving and serving others a part of your routine, and learning to flow with life instead of constantly fighting it. But the absolute most crucial element is learning to live in the feeling of your desires as if they're already here. And this, right here, is the secret sauce. You don't wait for your desire to show up in the physical world to feel good. You have to generate that good feeling right now. If you want abundance, you have to find a way to feel abundant today with what you have. Why? Because your feelings are the energetic signal, the magnet that draws your desire to you. You have to become an emotional match for your goal before it arrives. Ultimately, this whole journey isn't about learning some brand new, complicated skill. It's really about remembering who you truly are. It's a process of waking up to the incredible, divine, creative power that you have always had inside you, but maybe you just forgot. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question. You are a creator. That part is a given. It's not up for debate. The only real question you have to ask yourself is this. With every single thought, every word, and every feeling, what are you choosing to create? Your world is literally waiting for you to decide.